Software Architecture Design Patterns class. So today we will discuss about documenting software architecture. In the previous class that we have seen architectures and patterns, and now we will see how we have to maintain a documentation of software architecture what we are working. Okay, if you are working under a project and if you are doing a project, then you have to maintain minute to minute minutes, okay, or records, and we have to maintain documentation from initial stage to end the stage. What are the minutes that you are maintain, what are the board of discussions has been maintained, okay, what are the technologies that you want to use and what you mean, what are the action plan you are taking about the project. All these things that you have to discuss in the documentation software, okay, or you have to mention in the documentation form. We will see the main purpose of documenting the software architecture, okay, or what is with the need of documentation we are maintaining in the process of software development life cycle as a software architecture. We will see the purpose. The purpose is this documentation provides a comprehensive architectural overview of the system using a number of different architectural views to despite different aspects of the system. It tells that by using the documentation, by maintaining the documentation, the stakeholders can understand about the overall objective and behavior system of the project, okay, and the software employers or software developers team can understand what exactly they want to do. They have to develop and implement the software. These are the things we have to consider using a number of different architectural views, okay. So in the previous sessions also we discussed about the perceptions and views, okay. So stakeholders, they have their own views, they understand the project in their own view, and architecture understood, and he want to design, or architect want to design the software in his perception or in his view, and the views may be different. The architecture view, he may not be exposed by words, but he can expose by representing documentation or representing by diagram, so that we can understand what exactly the architecture design the architecture, and software developers can understand where the model has been decomposed, what are the languages that they are using, what are the classes they are using, how they want to interact the classes in the code. All these things, the architecture has to be mentioned in the document, so that it is easy to understand the stakeholders, and it is easy understand by software developers and end users also. And we'll see it is intended to capture and convey the significant architectural decisions which have been made of the system, okay. If you observe that every faculty in the colleges or schools, they will maintain a lesson plan, and they will maintain attendance register, which tells for every class they will note how many students has entered into class, what are the topic covered, in the next class what topic has to be covered, or will continuing this topic in the next class also. So here they maintaining, so every class the teacher will be take the attendance of the students. If he is not present to the classes, he will adjust to the somewhere someone. So which means for 8 hours or 7 hours of the day, every schedule they will be recording or maintaining documentation, so that we can overview and we can calculate the percentages, attendance percentages, and syllabus coverage percentages, how much of improving, all these things we can able to calculate. So this is the way how documents will be useful. So here in the software projects also, the software architecture, the architecture has to be intended to capture the documentation, helps to capture that architecture and convey the significant architectural decisions. What are the decisions that has been taken while taking the software project, the convey we can convey to the other stakeholders or the people who are working. and we have to made within system. If you want to develop, while we are developing the procedure, while we want to develop the system, so we have to take a number of decisions by conducting a group meeting or a board meeting, and by interviewing the stakeholders, or by interviewing the all things, we will conduct a decisions, we will make a decisions. Okay, based on these decisions, everything we will maintain minute to minute documentation, and we will use as diagrams to representing the component view, model view, and allocation view. Okay, we have discussed that our project has been architectural, has been patterns has been divided into three types. One is a model, module. Okay, and next we are dividing into component and connector, and next we are dividing into allocation. These are the things we will see here. I hope that you are following. Okay, uh, and documenting the architecture is the crowning step to crafting it. Good architecture documentation is a fruit which stakeholders get from Herculean effort of one person, system architect, and if stakeholders not been able to understand the whole effort, will have been wasted. So here it is clearly saying that the good software developed by an architect has to maintain a good documentation. If the stakeholders unable to understand the documentation, then the project will not be a good, or it will not be a good architecture. Okay, the software architecture has to design the project, and he has to maintain the documentation. The stakeholders has to show interest to read the documentation, and if he is not interested, and if the no people is not maintaining the documentation, or they are not reading the documentation, or they are not able to understand the documentation while going through that, so it makes a wasted. Okay, so that architecture work a lot of efforts, they will put a lot of efforts to develop a good software. Okay, it has to be understand, it has to represent all his work at documentation, so that we can understand his views, his solutions, how he has made the software architecture, how he constructed the architecture, what are the components he used, and how he maintained the interfaces between the components. All these things, they has to be documented. And so documentation should have to be easy in reading as well as in understanding. Okay, so after listening the class, we will study the notes. Okay, sometimes we will write notes. So the notes tells that how good you are at listening, and how good you put an effort to understand the lesson, and it tells that how you understand, what are the topics that you have understand, how did you understand. That will elaborated by maintaining your fair notes. Okay, after listening the class of this section, if you are interested to make a note, that tells that you are interested, eagerly want to learn something, and you listen something, and that while maintaining the notes, that brings out your capabilities of how much of knowledge you get, how did you understand, how much of the points you want to learn. Okay, the notes will, the fair notes, or the running notes will tells that your capabilities, enthusiasm. Okay, the notes will tells that how good you are at subject, or how interested you are at subject, how you understanding, how you are viewing the class. Okay, this tells that notes. Okay, that notes we are maintaining a documentation, that is a documentation. So that's why it is better suggestible, making notes tells that making concentration and interest, and how much you understand. Okay, by while you are writing the notes, some points you will make underline, that tells that it is an important. Okay, so that notes will help you in another times, and it will help to others also. Okay, if you maintain a good notes, then many of your other students can understand your notes. Okay, they can learn something. So otherwise, if you're not interested, or if you're not able to maintain a good notes, then the listening of all the things will be wasted. Okay, so that is the same thing we are representing in the softwares also. And we'll continue. We will see the uses of architectural documentation. The documentation is to write from the point of view of the reader. Okay, so if I'm maintaining the documentation means I am concerned about the reader who are reading the documentation. I am telling something to him, that what we are mentioned here. It is a quotation that documentation is to write from the point of view of the reader. If I am writing a notes, if I am maintaining the documentation, I have to maintain it the point of view. For example, many times we will purchase many items like pen drives or laptops or bike. For every item you purchased, they will maintain, they will give you a manual. That manual helps that how to use. If you found any problem, if you recognized any trouble problems, then how can you troubleshoot, how can you diagnose the problem. Okay, what are the, if you maintain a bike manual, if you have seen that, so what are the parts that bike have, where is the battery will be placed, what are the switches intended for, how to use, what are the chain spray, what are the lubricants you have to use. Okay, for how many days after you have to maintain service, all the things will be maintained, documented. Okay, so they will maintain all this inspection. If they maintain in their own, the user cannot understand, then manual will be waste. The manual has to be clearly understandable by a normal user or normal reader. Okay, so the same thing in the software architecture has to be concerned this. He has to maintain a documentation so that the stakeholders or end user can able to understand what software architecture has to be intent. Okay, the architecture of the system depends on the requirement lived on it. Okay, he has to be mention the requirements, for what requirements he is developing a solution, and it should be sufficiently abstract, and it should be detailed also to serve as blueprint. So from first class onwards we are discussing about the blueprint or prototype. Okay, in software project management also we have seen that about prototype, we will develop the prototype. Okay, the prototype is a model that helps us to develop the original. If I am developing an apartment, then I will, or if I am developing an biggest constructing an organization or a company, before starting the work at the land level or ground level, then first I will design in my system and I will develop the prototype by using cardboards or any other material. I will use a small prototype. Okay, so that I can understand the roads, the land, all these things, the windows, where is the windows, where is the main doors, okay, where is the exit door, where is the entry door, all the things will be shown by prototype. If you have any suggestions or modifications, so that you can made it on prototype. After finalizing that, if you started a ground level work or starting the construction, it will be good. You will get what exactly you are seeing on the prototype. Okay, so in the documentation also we will clearly mention about the prototype or blueprint. Okay, what exactly we are constructing. So after architecture left due to some reasons, then someone come in his place, so that he is able to understand by reading the documentation. That is the most important reason while maintaining the documentation. Okay, so that user can understand how to the new coming or new people when come to project after middle of the work. Okay, so he unable to understand what going on the project, who are the team members, who, what are the work has been decomposed, how much of models has been completed, how much of models has been pending. Okay, what are the issues has been there. Okay, what are the organization's demands, what are the stakeholders demands, requirements, so that the newcomer has to be started from ground level. To avoid all these things, the documentation helps, or the minute to minute book help the newcomer, so that he can able to understand, okay, this much of work has been completed. Okay, simply we can understand like that. After completing of 1 month of work, some student join to the class. Okay, sometimes we will see that when we will start the classes in one particular time, some of the students will add to the classes after 1 month. Okay, they will enjoy all the things, but due to some reasons they will not come to the class 1 month. After 1 month they will join. Okay, so after sitting the first class or first day, he didn't unable to understand what is going, what are the classes is going. To understand that, the timetable will help him what are the subjects is there in this semester. Okay, what is the if he came in Wednesday class, so that he will understand, okay, when in the Wednesday these are the subjects are going, this is the time schedule, he can understand that these are the subjects is coming in this semester, the subjects will be taught by this faculty, and after in 1 month he can understand by maintaining the documentation. So 1 unit has been completed, or these are the topics has been completed, so these are the assignment has been given by faculty, so that by documentation helps the new student to he can adapt the enrollment, the new enrollment. Okay, he can understand what are the subjects is there, what is the lab periods, what are the faculty coming for taught what subjects. Okay, for documentation, that is the main view, that is the main concept, pasting the timetables in the classrooms, displaying the timetables in the classrooms, displaying the lesson plans in the classroom. Okay, uh, so this is the need of documentation. Okay, so understand that, so it is depend upon the requirement, and it is should be sufficiently abstract, and it should be detailed to serve as blueprint. Okay, and understand who the stakeholder are, this will help in documentation. The documentation tells that what are, who are the stakeholders for whom we are working, for whom we have to deploy the project. Okay, these are the things has to be mentioned in documentation. I hope that you are understand about what is the need of documentation. Okay, if you are coming to finally, so you are allotted for specific project. Okay, in the project you have to start a documentation. You can understand what is documentation from the first day you are choosing the project onwards. You are allotted with a guide, and you have to choose the topic, and you have to choose a problem, you have to find out the solution. From first day onwards you have a work, documentation work has been started. Okay, in the documentation tells that who is the guide guiding your project, and what is the project main abstract, what are the project limitations or problems, how you overcome to, how you are getting the solutions. Okay, for every day you have to maintain minute to minute documentation, how many days you visited the guide, how many days, what are the things you have covered in the 1 week or 1 month. Okay, what are, you will conduct reviews. Okay, review meetings will be there. On the documentation they will write who are the review meeting, who are the members attended to reviews. Okay, what happens, what are the action plans has been taken on the reviews, all the things has to be mentioned. This helps us to resolve or renew our thoughts for project, and eager to wait to complete the project. Okay, let's see the uses and audience for the architectural documentation. The architectural documentation must be sufficiently transparent and accessible to be quickly understood by new employees. Okay, in earlier we discussed this. So documentation helps that some of the team members left from the project, or the software architect has been left from the project, then the organization has been allotted some new one, so he has to be understand, he has to be accessible all the project, he has to be understand, okay, about the project, he has to be adapt the problems and solutions, requirements and views, how the past software architect has been viewed or constructed like that. Okay, and be sufficiently concentrate to serve as a blueprint for construction, and have enough information to serve as a basis for analysis. And architecture documentation is both perspective and descriptive. So for sometimes some audience it will prescribe what should be true, placing constraints on decisions to be made. We have to think that it has to be prescribed that what should be true and what exactly they has to do, what are the placing constraints that we are doing on decisions. For other audience it describes what is true and recounting decisions already made about the system designs. These are the documentation perspective and descriptive. Let's understand. Okay, in the development of projects or software architecture development procedure, okay, there is a lot of things will be maintained documentation, but for stakeholders all the things should not be known it, okay, all each and every point they should not need for stakeholders. For organizational they need some data, for stakeholders they need some data, for software development teams they need some data. We will see, I will show the table what are the important issues has to be show to stakeholders, what can we hide, okay, for organizations what is data to be displayed and what should be hide, okay. So for example, if I am developing an mocks developing of results project, then for students and parents for entire world, it is enough that I will show the results, okay. For my database students can access their results and they view the subjects, okay. So if the CSE student, okay, he can view only the CSE results, there is no need to display him triple results, civil results, all the results. If the final year student, it is enough that his results will be relieved to him. There is no need to show all the data, all the results for him. Okay, so that remaining we constructed, we worked, we gathered all the students, all department students, all year students, we placed in our database. But for an end user, he is a CSE student and his roll number is some XXX. It is enough he view his results only. There is no need to display enter all the results, right? So this is the way we are showing only something for end users and we are showing something for organizations. We are maintaining, but we have to document all the data, okay, for if new member has been adapted, so that he can understand that, and the software developer or a stack architecture can review for everything. So for review documentation will be help. Understanding stakeholder uses of architecture documentation is essential, and we will see the three uses for architecture documentation. One is education and another thing is introducing people to the system, that are the new members of the team, external analysts or evaluators, new architect, and for we will discuss about this education purpose, okay. Education means education here introducing the people to the system. Education means we are bringing awareness to the stakeholders or the who are involving in the project or organization something, and new members of team, okay. So that team members who are coming to the team, project team, so that they can understand, they can able to where they have to start work. For everything there is one starting point, so the user can understand where we have to start, okay, what are the pending work, he has to be complete all these things. And external analyst or evaluators, and new architect, if the new architecture has replaced by old architect due to some reasons, the new architecture can understand, okay, the project what they are doing. And primary vehicle for communication among stakeholders, so especially architect to developers and especially architect to further architect. So here by documentation, by maintaining documentation, we are communicating among the stakeholders. So we are discussing something, we are maintaining reviews, all these things. So especially for architect to developers, architect want to communicate with the developers, so he design architect and he will split modules and he will allot the work to the developers. So he has to communicate, he will decompose the work and he will maintain the models and he will assign the work to different peoples to the software developers, so the software developers can understand the architect view, so they can construct. And architect want to communicate with the stakeholders, or he want to communicate with another new architect, so that for him he will maintain the documentation. For first purpose is for bringing awareness, and second communication, and third basic for system analysis and construction, basis for system analysis and construction. And we'll see architecture tells implementers what to implement. Okay, so for software developers, they has to develop. Okay, at the different stages, we have to integrate the project. So let's assume that on the project, nearly 3000 members is working in different places. Somebody working in Noida, somebody working in Pune, somebody working in Hyderabad, somebody working at USA. So this is the biggest task, integration part. How a software developer, software architect implement these individual divided modules into one project. That is the biggest task. So architecture has to tell implementers what to implement, and each module has interface that must be provided and user interfaces from other modules. Okay, so I'm developing an website, so I'm designing some pages, 5 pages, and remaining 5 pages assigned to someone, and some of the designing aspect and action place will be assigned to someone. So at the final end, we have to integrate, we have to create interface. If I click the home page, if I click the about vision and mission, that will be designed by another member, so I have to interface, create an interface, so that I can call him his system. Okay, and documentation can serve as a receptacle for registering and communicating unresolved issues. Architecture documentation serves as the basis for architecture evolution. Let's see what are the things we will see for stakeholders. What is the use? Okay, in the software process, software development process, or architecture, software architect responsibilities, he has to be maintain documentation for different views. Okay, as we discussed earlier, that we are releasing the results, students can extract their own results is enough, I will show to him. But for examination cell in the college or university, I have to show how I am showing, how I am storing the databases. Anybody can hack it and anybody can modify. Some of the students think that if it is good if I can modify the results in university's database. Okay, already some of the people tried, but they failed also. Okay, so that is the thing. So for an security reasons, for an different reasons, for the software developers, they has to display what are the things he maintaining, what are the restrictions he maintaining. Other peoples could not display, or wait 1 minute. We will see stakeholder and users. We will see different stakeholders. For which stakeholders, what are the topics that we will show. Okay, so for architect and requirements, engineers who represent customers. Okay, so the use for maintaining him documentation to negotiate and make trade-offs and among competing requirements. Architect and designers, architect and designers of constitution part for their use to resolve resource contamination and establish performance and other kinds of running time resource consumption budgets. Okay, these are the uses for architect and designer of constitution parts. For implementers, the documentation helps to provide innovable constraints plus exploitable freedoms on downstream development activities. Okay, so testers and integrators to specify the correct black box behavior of the pieces that must fit together. So testers and integrators to specify the correct black box behavior of pieces that must fit together. For maintainers to reveal areas a prospective change will affect, and designers of the other system with which one must interpret to define the set of operations provided and required and the protocols for their operation. And we'll see the quality attribute specialists. For them, the documentation helps to provide the model that derives analytical tools such as rate monotonic real-time schedulability analysis, simulations and simulation generators, theorem provers, verifiers, etc. These tools require information about resource consumption, scheduling policies, dependencies, and so forth. Architecture documentation must contain the information necessary to evaluate a variety of quality attributes such as security, performance, usability, availability, modifiability. Okay. In the last modules that we discussed about quality attributes, what are the quality attributes and for tactics we are maintaining. Okay, so here we can see that quality attributes like security for what are the security you are maintaining. Earlier we discussed about results also. So how if I am sharing the data, what are the data security I am providing, for whom I am providing the data. Okay, in the Google Drive, if you are sharing the file, there is some restrictions. Anybody can view, or another option, anybody can view with this link, anybody can found in internet, or nobody can access. Okay, these are the restrictions we are giving. Performance, how much fast it is taking. Okay, if I'm running the application, how much fast is it working. Okay, sometimes recently many of the mobiles they are giving advertisement like this. Okay, if you play any games, okay, it will be, the performance will be very fast. Okay, the graphical very fast. There if you can observe that the performance test will be doing by reviewers of mobiles. What they are doing, they are placing 3 mobiles and one table, and they are starting some applications. They are opening Google Chrome, how fast they are opening. They are opening games, how fast they are opening. Okay, they are playing games and how fast if a game playing. After playing half an hour of a game, how much of heat generating by mobiles, what are the battery consumption after playing half an hour, like that. These are the performance issues we discussed. And usability, availability, that is the most important thing. Sometimes while after releasing the results, results, the university website will be get slowed down. So many of the thousands of people access for results at the same time, automatically the burden will be on server, so server will be breakdown, or sometimes server will be slowed down. So that's why the user cannot access that. So that is availability, it has to be provided for any time. And modifiability, for an software developers, they can able to modify. Okay, so as we discussed that some of the projects has been released as a beta versions. So after beta versions, the end users will be give some suggestions or feedback. Based on that, we will modifiable. Okay, so you can also see the real-time example that the WhatsApp has been modified many times in the during of lockdown. In before that, we can share the data for unlimited users. If I have 500 contacts in my system, so that I can share at a time 500 members. After the fake news has been sharing circulating between WhatsApps, so that the WhatsApp decided that it restricted to only 5 members at a time. Okay, in the corona season, it restricted to only 2 members. If it is a forwarded messages, you can forward to only 2 members only. Okay, if it is your own issue you are forwarding, then it will be forward to 5 members. And in last time, you can post 30 seconds of video as a status, but you can now you can post only 15 seconds, like that. This is the way the apps can able to modifiable. And recently WhatsApp has been released WhatsApp Pay. So we are not uninstall and reinstall, we are simply updating my WhatsApp, so that a new feature has been adapted to my system. So that is an modifiability. Okay, this is the way for documentation helps to different stakeholders, and these are the uses. And for managers, for software project managers, the documentation helps to create development teams corresponding to work assignments identified, to plan and allocate project resources, and track progress by various teams Product line managers, to determine whether a potential new member of product family is in our out of scope, and if out, by how much. Okay, and for quality assurance team, they has to be produce the quality based on the requirements. Okay, they has to be test with the different test cases. Okay, they will test in different bugs, different options. For them, documentation helps to provide a basis for conformance checking, for assurance that implementations have been faithful to the architectural perceptions. Okay, so we'll see the views while maintaining the documentation. uh, a software architecture for a systems as the structure of or the structures of the system which compress elements, the externally visible properties of those elements and relationship among them, and view representation of a coherent set of architectural elements as written and read by stakeholders. And documenting an architecture is a matter of documenting the relevant view and then adding documentation that applies to more than one view. And backbone of architecture documentation, we will see choosing the relevant view and documenting the view, documenting information that applies to more than one view. These are the three views that we can observe while maintaining the documentation. One is choosing the relevant view. If I am, for which user you are displaying the documentation, for which user you are maintaining the documentation. If I am maintaining the documentation for the testing team, software testing team, then I have to maintain something for them. If I am maintaining for managers, I have to show the data somewhere. Okay, something. And we will continue the views. Views, let us divide a software architecture into a number of interesting and manageable representations of the system. Principles of architecture documentation. Documenting an architecture is a matter of documenting the relevant views and then adding documentation that applies to more than one view. And we'll continue different users, what are the views we are observing. If you see in this table, that elaborates that we have different views, that are the mostly three views that we are discussing. One is a model view, and one is a CNC view, which is a component connector view, and allocation view. From first class we discussed that three models is there. One is a model views, that model views helps that decomposing of our project. And another thing is component and connector, which is what are the components we are maintaining, what are the elements, and how we are communicating with that, by buses or by network. Okay, by Bluetooth, whatever may be the connections you are maintaining, how you are connecting that. Okay, and allocation views, what are the resources you are allocating, what are the infrastructure you are allocating to the users. For stakeholder, you are displaying the documentation decomposition, and we will see the uses. In the model views, we see the decomposition. So decomposition means we are dividing the models to different models. Okay, my work has been dividing into models. So if I am preparing for examinations, then my work will be divided. So I will construct, first I will maintain the notes, I will gather the materials, I will prepare a fair notes. Okay, I will study again, I will revision, I will self test. These are the works I can decompose. The software also we are decomposing into different views. And uses and class, what are the classes I am decomposing, or uses or layers. Okay, and in the component views, what are the various components. And allocation, we will discuss about development and implementation. And for project manager, we will show the decomposition. Here at the bottom you can see for D it tells that detailed information. For S we will showing only some details only. For O represents that overview information. X tells that nothing view. So here for project manager we are telling only some details for decomposition, some details only how it is uses, and we are not showing about the classes because the project manager no need to understand about the classes. Sometimes they're not able to understand what are the classes, okay, because many of them don't know about the work methodologies. There is a tons of classes will be declared in the project, so he can't waste his time on that. And for layers he will give only S, okay, where blank tells that we no need to show the component and views. And for deployment we are displaying detailed information how we are deployment, okay. For the member of development teams we are showing about decomposition, we have detailed information because they are development team, they should know what are the modules that assigned to them, okay. So that's why we are mentioning detailed issues. And we are uses and classes layered, we are mentioning all the details, okay, how we are what are the components also, what are the network issues, what are the cable issues, how to connect, all these things we are displaying detail view, or we are maintaining a documentation detail view for them. For deployment and implementation we are showing only some details for them. For testers and integrators, testers means they not write the code, instead of that they will test, okay. So that's why for users classes we are showing details, and component issues allocation implementation views we are displaying only some details. Like this we will divide for different users how you dividing work, how you are maintaining our documentation, okay. If you see the customer we will show only component and connectors only, okay. But deployment or at the end of the project we are showing overall information. End user we are showing the CC views and allocation views only. Analyst who are working that we are showing the decomposing, and users will detailed information because he has to be analyzed about the work. And classes we are showing some only, and layered we are showing detail. For infrastructure support all the things we are showing mostly some details which are important. And for new stakeholders we are showing any nothing because he is non-native support. For current and future architecture we are representing model views we are showing only detail, and component views allocation views we are showing detail for current further architect, okay. The architect should learn about all these things because he is only constructing. We will see documentation views. What we have seen at the first step we see primary presentation of view, okay. So one we will representation with the diagrammatical or textual versions. After that we will represent element catalog. So here we have different sections. After that we have to show context diagram, and we will have to variable guide, and we have to represent architecture background. After that glossary of terms and other information, okay. Choosing the relevant view, you will see the documentation behavior. Views represent structural information about the system. What are the structural things, models, all the things. Structural view we can show the users. Structural information alone is not sufficient. Behavior add information that reveals the ordering of interaction among the elements. So here we are telling that we are maintaining the documentation that what are the objectives, behavior systems of the projects or modules, okay. That what we are maintaining documentation. In UML sequence and state diagrams are examples of behavior. By using these diagrams we will represent the behavior of the modules or states. And we will see interfaces, what are the issues we have to maintain. So these are we are dividing into different sections. First, interface identity, resource provided for interfaces, locally defined data types, and exception definitions, variability provided, quality attribute characteristics, element requirements, rational and design issues. These are the things we can observe. And we'll see by using unified modeling language we can develop diagrams, we can represent our documentation or software architect in different views. For model view we represent notations in UML like this. So this is a class, this is a package, this is a subsystem class, and these are the things in the third unit we will see in the design patterns clearly. And I hope that in the UML you already studied about this diagram, what is the class, how you are representing class and packages. Okay, A represents that class name and remaining things represents that declaring of objects and methods. Okay, and how you are creating an interface, how you are showing the relation with interface. These are the way how you are representing your notations in modeling view. And relational notations in UML. So here we can categorize it into composition, dependency, generalization, how you are representing these diagrams. And decomposing in UML nesting. So here A is the package that has been divided into B, C, D. Again here also that model has been composition, maintaining composition that B, C, D. This is the way we represent. And documenting generalization in UML. So here we have two ways by representing generalization. Okay, and this is the component and connector view. So this is a style key and this is a system, how I have a components, different components, how I am interconnecting with them. And this is the allocation view, what are the things I am allocating to my project. So in the next module that we discuss about the architecture reconstruction. Okay, and we will end up the session. So in the next class or in the next module that we discuss about the architectural reconstruction, and so that we can end up the first unit.